Welcome to the dark side of the moon. 8 interesting facts. Despite its intriguing name, the dark side of the moon is not dark at all. Here are 8 facts about this enigmatic part of our lunar neighbor. Have you ever wondered about the mysterious, dark side of the moon? Contrary to its name, this enigmatic part of our lunar neighbor is full of surprises. Join us as we explore 8 fascinating facts about the dark side of the moon that will leave you seeing this cosmic wonder in a whole new light. Fact number 8. Despite its name, the dark side of the moon is now not constantly dark. Like the close aspect of the moon that faces us, it experiences 2 weeks of daytime and 2 weeks of darkness, due to its synchronous rotation with Earth. This skill takes the identical quantity of time for the moon to rotate as soon as on its axis as it does to orbit Earth. As a result, we usually see the equal face of the moon from Earth, whilst the contrary aspect is eternally hidden from view. This phenomenon used to be first determined in the 1600s by the Italian astronomer Galileo Galilei. During the 2 weeks of daylight hours on the dark side of the moon, the solar shines without delay on its surface, offering the identical quantity of mild heat as the closed side. However, due to the fact, the distance aspect lacks the dark, flat plains regarded as Maria that are frequent on the close side, it seems extra heavily cratered and mountainous. The craters on the long way aspect are additionally typically large and greater severe than those on the close side, indicating a special geological history. Although some distant side of the moon receives an equal quantity of daylight as the closed side, it is shielded from Earth's radio alerts and different electromagnetic interference. This makes it a perfect region for radio astronomy and should expose new insights into the early universe. China's Chang'e 4 lander, which efficaciously landed on the Wei's aspect of the moon in the 2019, includes a low-frequency radio spectrometer to learn about cosmic phenomena such as the first stars and black holes. Fact number 7. The first image of the dark side of the moon used to be an essential milestone in lunar exploration. The Soviet spacecraft Luna 3 captured the first pics of the Wei's aspect in 1959, the usage of a machine of cameras and a mechanical scanner to transmit the pics again to Earth. The pics printed a closely cratered landscape, pretty distinct from the smooth, darkish plains we see on the close side. The pics taken by using Luna 3 confirmed that the long way facet of the moon has a lot more extraordinary topography than the close side. It is characterized by rugged, mountainous terrain with many extra influence craters than the close side. The absence of Maria on the distant side is additionally notable, which is thought to be due to the thicker crust on that facet of the moon. This thicker crust would have averted magma from flowing to the surface and forming the clean plains we see on the close side. The discovery of the closely cratered panorama on some distant side of the moon used to be a shock to scientists at the time, as they had predicted the 2 facets of the moon to be greater similar. The photographs taken by using Luna 3 paved the way for future missions to discover some distant aspects of the moon, made to a higher grasp of its geology and history. Since then, several spacecraft have orbited or landed on the Wei's facet of the moon, and greater missions are deliberate for the future to proceed with this exploration. Fact number 6. The lunar Maria, or seas on the close side of the moon, are large, dark, and noticeably easy areas fashioned from solidified lava flows. The lack of these facets on the dark side of the moon was once a shock to scientists when the first pictures had been taken by way of the Soviet spacecraft Luna 3 in 1959. One rationalization for this distinction lies in the variations in crustal thickness between the 2 aspects of the moon. The crust on the long way facet of the moon is thicker than the crust on the close side, which may want to have avoided magma from flowing to the floor and forming the easy plains that we see on the close side. The thicker crust on some distance facet would have required greater power to penetrate and would have cooled magma faster, ensuing in an extra fragmented and mountainous terrain. Another principle suggests that the absence of Maria on the long way aspect of the moon is due to variations in the thickness of the mantle. The mantle is the layer of rock under the crust that makes up most of the moon's interior. The mantle on some distance aspect of the moon may also be thicker than the close side, which may want to have averted the magma from attaining the floor and forming the clean plains viewed on the close side. Regardless of the precise cause, the lack of Maria on some distant aspects of the moon offers essential clues to the geological records and evolution of the moon. The versions in crustal thickness and mantle composition may also have performed a substantial function in shaping the floor facets we see today. Fact number 5. The exploration of the dark side of the moon has been a goal of space agencies around the world for decades, and various missions have been launched to find out about this mysterious location of the lunar surface. On January 2019, China's Chang'e 4 probe grew to be the first spacecraft to land on the long way facet of the moon, an essential fulfillment for the Chinese space program. The Chang'e 4 mission landed in the von Karman crater, which is placed in the South Pole Aitken Basin. One of the biggest and oldest, has an impact on basins in the photovoltaic system. This vicinity is of incredible activity to scientists due to the fact it is a concept comprised of rocks and different substances that have remained unchanged because of the early days of the moon's formation. The Yutu-2 rover, which used to be carried on board the Chang'e 4 probe, has been exploring this place and conducting scientific experiments considering its landing. One of the challenges of exploring the dark side of the moon is that there is no direct line of sight to Earth, so verbal exchange with the spacecraft is extra difficult. To overcome this challenge, China launched a relay satellite, Chueqiao, in May 2018, which used to be positioned in a halo orbit around the 2D Lagrange factor of the Earth-Moon system. This approves the satellite TV for PC to preserve a consistent line of sight with each Chang'e 4 probe on the ways facet of the moon and mission manipulate on Earth. The success of the Chang'e 4 mission has paved the way for future missions to discover the long-way aspect of the moon. NASA plans to launch the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter 3 mission in the 2020s, which will learn about the moon's south pole and different areas on the way's side. These missions will assist to enhance our perception of the geological records and composition of the moon, and may also supply necessary insights into the formation and evolution of our photovoltaic system. Fact number 4. The lack of radio interference from Earth on the dark side of the moon makes it a perfect region for radio astronomy. China's Chang'e 4 lander includes a low-frequency radio spectrometer to find out about the universe's origins and evolution. Fact number 3. The dark side of the moon is occasionally referred to as the quiet side due to the fact it faces away from Earth's radio alerts and different disturbances. The lack of noise from Earth lets in for clearer observations of space. Fact number 2. The dark side of the moon has no reputable name, however, some scientists refer to it as the far side. The first astronauts to orbit the moon, on the Apollo 8 mission in 1968, known as the dark side due to the fact it used to be unknown and mysterious. Fact number 1. The dark side of the moon experiences a phenomenon regarded as lunar swirls, which are strange, snaking patterns of mild and darkish fabric that crisscross the surface. These swirls are concepts to be brought on via the interplay between the moon's magnetic subject and the photovoltaic wind, which is a movement of charged particles that flows from the sun. The magnetic area on some distance aspect of the moon is a lot weaker than the close side, which may additionally assist to explain why these swirls are extra frequent on the away side. The specific mechanisms at the back of lunar swirls are nevertheless now not completely understood, however, they are a captivating and special function of the darkish aspect of the moon. And there you have it, 8 interesting facts about the dark side of the moon. From lunar swirls to the first successful landing on the far side, this enigmatic region of the moon continues to fascinate scientists and space enthusiasts alike. Thank you for watching, and be sure to tune in for more interesting content on our channel.